Okay, page Torah Or Page, page Lamed Daled, first column. Okay, no, I'm sorry, we got to the second column. Okay, the last thing that Rebbe was explaining, the Goyim impurified all the oil, that's the level of Chochmah, Shemin is Chochmah, and therefore in order to rectify it, you have to tap into a level higher than everything, like the Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim can forgive sins because it's higher than the world. So he says, that's why Beis Shammai says that the first night you light 8, then 7, then 6, and Beis Hillel says you go up. Why? So he said, Beis Shammai says, what's the Parei Achag? What's the connection between Chanukah and the bulls of Sukkot? Besides the fact that other places of Chassidus say they're both in number 8, and there's a lot of connection between Chanukah, but what's the connection between the bulls of Sukkot? So he says because the bulls of Sukkot is the bringing down the makif level of Sukkot to elevate and to refine the 70 nations which symbolize evil. In other words, what is it? The 7 midas, the 70 nations of evil represent the 7 midas rois, each one composed of 10. And therefore, when the Yaakov came down to Mitzrayim, there were 70 neshamis, because that's the level of 70 of Kedusha, and they have to rectify the 70 of Klippa. And he says like this, so the first day, you're elevated, so therefore, you have less to elevate, because you refined already. Okay, so he says now, second column, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 lines to the top of the second column. He says, Chanukah, you also bring down the level of makif, the encompassing level, because why Chanukah is also 8. 8 symbolizes higher than time and place, higher than the shtalshus. You need doch maklibus, then you push away klipa. Chanukah is the level of mechamal. Oh, 1 minute, we learned this already. I'm sorry, we're up to like another 7, 8 lines further. So he says like this, you have to push away from makif level. Beis Hillel said, and Beis Hillel says you go up in Kodesh, yeah? But Beis Shammai is right. You're bringing down makif from level, you're elevating evil, so Chanukah should be like the bulls of Sukkot, and therefore you should go down, not up. Why does Beis Hillel say you go up? He says you can't derive this, Beis Hillel holds, from the bulls of Sukkot. Why can't you derive it from the bulls of Sukkot? He says simple. Chag Sukkot is deraisa. Sukkot is biblical, and it says in the Zohar the expression in other words, it says like this. The Alter brings it down in Tanya many times. Torah comes in the level of Chochmah. So the fact that Sukkot is deraisa, biblical, that means it comes in the level of Chochmah. Therefore it goes from higher to lower. He says like this, therefore, if it's Minat Torah and it comes from higher to lower, it has the koyach to come down lower. I'll explain in a second. Hashem could do everything. He says like this, because Sukkot is Minat Torah, therefore on the first day, with 1, you could elevate all the levels of Klippa, because there's no limitation. Hashem could elevate with 1 Gili Mil Maila. Mashayk and Chanukah Midrabanon, Shem Himshichuli is Gili Zeh. They're the ones that, not in other words like this. Sukkot Minat Torah comes from above. If it comes from above, it has the koyach to elevate evil. Chanukah is not from above. Chanukah is what the Chachamim were mamshich. They made it into a Yom Tiv. Im kein kivim shamshichim zeh momato, because who created Chanukah? The Chachamim, momato lamayla. Sukkot, which is Minat Torah, is momayla lamata. It comes from Hashem. So therefore Hashem in one day could do everything. But the Chachamim that instituted Chanukah, he says, it's very simple. By Sukkot we say the first day they elevate a lot of klipa. Therefore, on the first day you have 8. Because the Gilui is elevating a lot of Klippa. Who can elevate on the first day a lot of Klippa? Only Hashem, Milmayla Lamata. But when the Chachamim instituted Chanukah, the Gilui is not coming from Hashem, it's coming from Milmata, from the Avoid of Yidden, making a Yom Tif. So then, Chanukah, you don't have that koyach on the first day, so you have to go up. In other words, he said like this, every day you have to be mamshich a little bit more. Sukkot, on the first day, you bring everything down already, because it's been a Milmayla Lamata, it's been a Teira. What?
Like what you said about the Shkizim and Hashtag, which one is Makif and the other one is Namal. It's the same thing, the same concept.
Yeah, but he's differentiating here between the Makif of Sukkot and the Makif of Chanukah. The Makif of Sukkot, because it's been a Teira and it's coming Milmayla Lamata, so therefore on the first day it's a big zet, you can elevate a lot. Therefore you bring 8. Chanukah is with Rabbanan, the Chacham is doing Mamata Lamayla, so therefore they don't have that koyach to elevate all those levels, so therefore they can only do Ma'ila Makedesh a little bit at a time, 1 then 2. And that's why he says the similar is to Pesach and Sfiras Eimer. Pesach was Gilim Mamayla, and then you need Svartam Lachem. Right? And he says to elevate the Klippas, and therefore you say Hayom Shnei Yomim La'emer. You don't say Yom Sheni. And that's interesting. L'cheira, and by the Yom, we say Yom Sheni b'Shabbos, Yom Shlishi b'Shabbos. We don't say Hayom Yom Sheni La'emer, Shlishi La'emer, Revi. We say Shnei Yomim La'emer. So now the Rebbe is here to explain what's the difference. Shnei Yomim means it's a continuation for the first day. Now we have 2 days, then 3 days. Today is the second day, third day. You're not emphasizing the concept that it's accumulative. Okay, so he says, where does his parentheses end? That's funny. Oh, it ends at the end of the next paragraph. And okay, so let's see it. Nimtza b'sfiras eimer, which is a serusa de le'ela, aidei serusa de le'sata, mamshich ma'at ve'elech v'ered, beis yomim gimel yomim. And that's the Chanukah. First you have 1 candle, then you add more. Pesach, which is gilim mi'atzmei, Pesach, which is momaylo lamata from Hashem, hari klol eser nimshich achekach b'chol yemei ha'eimer. Then it comes from all the days of the Eimer, and it all begins at the beginning. In other words, Pesach has in it the whole concept of Sfiras Eimer, but it's only Gili Mumayla. Then you have to have the Avodah of the two. It's very interesting. There's a whole question in Halacha. I mean, this explains another, there's a famous Chikira in Halacha. It begins from a Machlekes in the Rishonim, in the Dorim. Is the mitzvahs Chiyav Gavar or Chiyav Chefza? In other words, the mitzvah is on the object or on the person. So the machlekes is it on the person, is it on the object? The pearl, l'mashal, when the Torah says chazer is treif, does it mean the person can't eat it? Or does it mean chazer is treif? Is it on the person or on the object? So there's a machlekes. The halacha is basically, according to most of the Rishonim and Achreinim, that by mitzvah saseh min ha-Torah, it's the object, and therefore according to Chassidus, it says the shol shchib tzatmeis. That means the object is treif. But then there's another question. Isad Rabbanon, something rabbinically forbidden, like chicken and milk. Yeah, it's rabbinically forbidden. Do the Chachamim have the ability to make chicken and milk treif? Or they say, you know what, we can control the people, so to speak, you're not allowed to eat it. But it's not the object is treif. The person can't eat it. Or another interesting shayla, the Rebbe brings this down in many, many sichs, Yosef Engel, Lekach, it's all over the place. Rodogachavers, Mitmaizad, Al Rebbe, and Tanya alludes to many different things. But the bottom line is, by a isig dependent on time. It's a very interesting thing. Chometz and Pesach. yeah, is forbidden to eat. Before Pesach, you're allowed to eat it. After Pesach, you are allowed to eat it. Now, so what happens during Pesach? Does it change from Klipas Noida to Shalosh Klipas HaTameis back to Klipas Noida? To use Hasidic language? Or do we say no? It remains the same thing. During Pesach, the Chachamim say you can't eat it. Or eating on Yom Kippur. In other words, it's an Isizmani, what's it called? The time-related... before Yom Kippur, you can eat the food. After Yom Kippur, you can eat the food. So what happens on Yom Kippur? Does the Torah say you can't eat it? Or does the Torah say no, the food becomes treif? It's a whole interesting thing. So this is all the inyan of what the Chacham have a koyach to do. Pesach, I mean, like the Rebbe said, Sukkot, which has been a Torah, that's the Gilui Melmaila, that can do everything. The Chachamim don't necessarily have that koyach because they only come in Momata Lamaila. So the question is, can you be Mamshech? So Beis Hillel says you can't. So Beis Hillel says you need to be Mamshech, so to speak, that level. Okay, anyway.
So what's the answer?
It's a machlekes from the Alter Rebbe in Tanya. It comes out that it's Shalosh HaTameis.
And it's on the thing itself.
Yes, on the thing itself. Okay, listen, let's go to the 68, because this is where the parentheses ends. Okay. He says, Lahov and Bir Advarim. Now, okay, so the parallel, what happens like this. The Alter Rebbe explained that the Shiva Rayim and Shmeina Nesichei Adam, right? Shiva Rayim is a level of Pnimius, Shmeina Nesichei Adam is a level of Makif, and therefore he explained what's the Inyan Chanukah, Makifim, 8, what's the level of Sukkot, 8, so Beis Shammai compares Sukkot and Chanukah, Beis Hillel says you can't compare it, but the bottom line is, 8 represents the Makifim level of Shmeina Nesichei Adam. And like he said, it doesn't necessarily mean, like you brought down with Chamnina B'Deiser, Bechem and Zakai. Chamnina B'Deiser wasn't, we don't find that he was this tremendous scholar that's mentioned all over the place. Huh? Yeah, because he was a pure person. So that is the level of Makifim. The Bechem and Zakai taught Torah, like Moshe Rabbeinu, that's the level of Shiva Reim. Okay. So now he says in 68 like this. So Haven Beer Advanim and now Ben Yishmein and the Nesichei Adam to understand the 8 anointed ones. The Vadi Harayim and Yesen Naila Mehem. Locheda the Rayim are greater than the Nesichei Adam. Avram Yitzchak and Yaakov Moshe Rabbeinu mean Locheda they're greater. V'Mashem Mashpiyim B'Chinas Pnimius. What's the greatness of the Shiva Rayim? That they bring down the level of Pnimius. Masha Enki Nesichei Adam. The Nesichei Adam are only the level of Makif, right? But why is that? Because the Rayim, the Shiva Rayim, at the level of Pnimius. The Neshamas come from the Pnimius. That's it, we learned Beis Hillel comes from Chesed and Beis Shammai comes from Gura, yeah? So there are certain Neshamas that come from Pnimius levels and the other Neshamas come from Chesenius. So the Rayim come from Pnimius, the Nesichim come from the level of Chitzenius. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu is the Raya and Eliyahu is Nesichim. V'neider the Moshe B'chinas Pnimius and Eliyahu is B'chinas Chitzenius, like it says in Kabbalah and Chassidus. Amnam, but Salachayra, the Rayim are greater than Nesichim. Yeah, but there's an advantage of Nesichim over the Rayim, like we learned. Amnam Bezeis Yitzim Milas and Nesichim Shenishmas and Mechinas Eilam Elyon Yesed meaning Shamas Rayim. It comes from a higher level, but it's only the Chitzenius of the Elyon. And the Rayim are the Pnimius of the Tachtim. It's like this. You have the same thing in Pirkei Avos. It says you should be Zon of La'arayis Valti Reish L'Shualim. Lions versus fox. Lions are greater than fox. So the Mishnah says you should be the lowest level of the fox rather than the highest, the lowest level of the lion rather than the highest level of the... So he says like this. The Neshamas of the Sichim come from the Makif level. The Chitzenius. But it's the Chitzenius of a higher level. The Rayim are Pnimius, but it's Pnimius of the lower level. Which had the leaves, yeah, of all the other fruits. So says like this: the fruits the leaves of better fruits are higher than the fruit of the lower fruits. The leaves don't have any taste. There's only chitzonius. They don't even have the taste of the worst fruits, of the lousy tasting fruits. The neged and the opposite way is there's an advantage of the lower fruits that don't have such great taste over the leaves of the higher fruits. Okay, so he says like this: the difference between the Reshiva Rayim, but the Rebbe lose this in Tanya with the Leo, but I don't know what he's talking about over there. With the Eliyahu Navi saw greater than Merashbi, Darizal saw greater than Moshe Rabbeinu, but Moshe Rabbeinu was greater, one's Pnimius and one's Kitanius. Anyway, here the Rebbe explains very simple. The Shiva Rayim are the level of Pnimius of a lower level. The Shmein and the Sichi Adam are like the Makifim, the external levels of the higher levels. So one has the advantage, it's Pnimius, you have a taste, and the other one has an advantage, it comes from a higher level. So he says like this: V'nei al derech mashul yesh beis min neshamas. There's two types of neshamas. Yesh neshamas yireim v'shleimim, like eila tamima, v'yafal pikein, and yechel lilmed zulasim teiras Hashem. They're very, like Rechminin ben Deisa, right? Pure, holy, ultimate great, but he couldn't teach. Obviously he was great, but I'm saying on that level. V'yesh neshamas bali teira, and there are people that are very learned. Vein neshleimim betachlis kol kach b'li shum deifi, like neshamas are now. Okay, so there's two types of neshamas. Pure neshamas, which is the level of makifim, but they can't teach pnimius, and there are levels that are pnimius, but not complete in makifim. Hainu sheyireim v'tmeimim, the level of nesichei adam, their neshamas come from alma diskasya, the higher level. But einam parnasi hadar, they're not the royim, they don't feed, they don't give teira. Fishem alma diskasya b'chinas hester ve'elim, and it's meshum and mimaga. It's protected from being touched because they're only chitzenius, they're only the external level. They can't be mamshech pnimius, which is teira. Bali teira are the level of pnimius, and therefore they're revealed in the level of Lomid. Simply, the shamas that is from alma diskasya, can't be revealed teira, you can't reveal pnimius. And the other neshamas are alma disgalia, they're lower level, but they could reveal pnimius. So it is also in Yishmein and the Sichi Adam, Sheshar Shemishmein Tikkunim Erishenim, Sheyabiyud Gimel Tikkuni Dikna. Daracham Shema Makifim. Okay, there's the Yud Gimel Tikkunim, the Yud Gimel Mitzarachmim. The first 8, he's explaining, is the Makif level. And then the last 5 is Pnimius level. Ki Tekan Allah from Bechinas Pnimi. What do you say? Hashem Hashem Karach L'chan Echa Payim V'Chesed? Neitze Chesed La'alafim. Alafim is already the Pnimius level. Because Alaf Chachma, Alaf Chabina. Like the kids saying the Bar Mitzvah Maamar. Apayim Chanukah M'Teira Leilam. Teira is 2,000 amas before the world. It's a level of Chachma and Bina. Ava Yenkim Mibeis Mazos Taracham Pimvini, because there are Pnimi like the Reim, Ilchurem, Ava, Vezon Neitze Chesed La'alafim. Okay, so he says like this. Aleph, Alafim, is a level of Pnimius. And now the Alter Rebbe says, the letter Aleph is Aleph, right? Alafim. The letter, what's Alafim Pnimius? It has to be with Tzimtzum. Because in order for an Or to come into a Keli, you have to limit yourself based on the Keli. So any Or Pnimi is already Tzimtzum. He says, Alafim, of the Yud Gimel Mitzarach begins the previous level. Because Alafim is 1,000 Chachma, 1,000 Bina. And therefore he says, interesting, Aleph is Yud, Yud, Vav. Right? Between Aleph base and Aleph is the Yud from above, Yud from below, and the Vav Chibur, right? So Yud is the level of Tzimtzum already. So in order to have the level of Aleph, which is already interesting, coming into letter slate, but the point is like this. You have a Seichel, you have a Midah. That Seichel Midah is unlimited. When you want to speak it, then you limit it. Anytime you put Seichel into words, or Midas into words, you say I love you, you're limiting it. The love is much deeper than I love you. But that's why letters begin with the letter Aleph. Because Aleph is Yud, Yud, Vav, which is a level of Tzimtzum. Therefore, the first of the Aleph base, first letter of the letters, is the level of Aleph, because that's the level of Lefcha Chochma, Lefcha Bina, which is Pnimius already.